the way they talk about him being John Mateer so far through spring practice, can't help but give you a little bit of a vibe the way that Miami talked about Cam Ward this time last year. Like during spring ball, you try to, I think, leave room for things to evolve as they get into the fall. But nobody is talking about what John Mateer could be and what he might be. Hey, we feel like we hit with him. We think he could eventually be a good player. They're like, yo, the quote from the story with Pete Nakos is Oklahoma feels like they got everything they wanted and then some in a one John Mateer. They're saying it with their chest right now out there in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, the highlights you see on social media, those in themselves should and do get you juiced. We'll unpack those a little bit more throughout this live show. But there's some sense, I think, when you look at what the offense can be. Like the physical tools are obvious. What he is as a playmaker, what he does to create when the play breaks down, all those things are true. But I think the intel side of this is really intriguing. The quote from the story, again, is they feel like not just they got what they wanted and then some, they speak specifically to him being a fit that they needed on a leadership side of things. Now, Oklahoma, a year ago, offense wasn't that good, y'all. Like, we all watched what happened. They scored 21 points a game. It's not great. I think different teams require different things from a leadership perspective based on the position they're in. Like a great example of this is when Baylor was in the post-Art Briles era. They needed structure. They needed discipline. They needed someone to kind of, kick them in the pants a little bit and get things headed the right direction. Oklahoma, after last season, with what they didn't do offensively, they need some swag back. And they need some confidence, dude. They need someone to generate some belief now. When you watch John Mateer play football, you watch how he carries himself, you listen to him speak, he is all of those things. And so I'll say this, good leaders, they have a certain way of allowing the people in that same building as them to change the way that they view themselves and change the way they feel about the future for themselves and change the way they feel about what they're a part of here. So if John Mateer's got that swag, got that confidence, that's contagious. That's going to impact the rest of his teammates, and so far that's the way that it seems like it's trending right now out there in Norman. Now, in addition to this, they also talk about John Mateer and the way that he is essentially helping everybody else get up to speed within that offense. That was one thing that we were excited about pre-spring for him and for that whole operation out there at Oklahoma. John Mateer is not having to figure out how the playbook's going to be run. He's not having to figure out the timing of how they're going to run their quick game or how they're going to push the ball downfield. Like, he knows all that already. He's teaching that to the rest of his teammates. So when you have a coach at quarterback, and then you also bring over two other coaches from the offensive staff in Pullman, Ben Arbuckle, your offensive coordinator, and your quarterback's coach in John Kuzieski, that frees everybody else up to give focus to other parts of the offense. Like, John Mateer's got the quarterbacks. We're good there, coach. We're good. Ben Arbuckle, you can go help the receivers, the offensive line. Again, you got Coach Kuzieski helping the quarterbacks as well. At a much higher level now, this frees up Brent Venables to actually focus on the defense. Like, Brent Venables doesn't have to worry about what the offense is going to be. We're good there, coach. You're freed up to go worry about what you do best, which is coach the defense up, which loses some pieces from a season ago, but I think everybody in Norman feels like they should be pretty good on that side of the football. So, yeah, the schedule is whack. There's no way around it. But I think if John Mateer is who you believe he could be, with what Oklahoma is going to be up against from an opposing quarterback perspective, 6 of their 9 Power 4 opponents will be playing somebody new at quarterback. All right, 2/3. That's pretty nice. Like, if John Mateer is who you think he could be, and that Brent Venables defense is a Brent Venables brand of defense, what's stopping Oklahoma? Now, again, the schedule sucks. Do not get it twisted. Do not hear me incorrectly. I'm not trying to peddle some hopium to you, but I am saying there is a path now for Oklahoma with what we're hearing about John Mateer and the way things are trending so far. That's enough to get me fired up, not just because it's spring practice. I think that the fact that you're hearing what you're hearing so far right now, the confidence, the volume, all those things out of Oklahoma around a one John Mateer, you can usually spot things like this pretty early on in spring practice. Like, you can kind of trust the things that you hear the loudest and the earliest to be true when it comes to the fall. They're being loud about John Mateer right now. So that should fire me up if I'm an Oklahoma fan.